Cool. Okay, yeah, so what I was saying is, so I changed the badges and shit, right? And so I guess when you take the doors off this thing, because they had to take some panels off and shit, to get the wraparound, you know? And so they started doing that. And then I guess when they put it back together, all these alarms went off and shit. Like the ECU was all fucked up. I'm like, all right, makes sense, right? Cool. So
yeah, you did fuck with the car. So.
Yeah, right. So I'll just send it. You know, there's one Ferrari dealer in all of Ontario, right? And it's like out in Vaughan. It's about 20 minutes away, right? So I said to the kid who did the wrap and all that stuff, I said, hey, you just come pick it up and then take it to them. They got that little computer thing. They'll just reset all the alarms on it, right?
Right.
It's like, cool. So
like when you get your rims done and all that shit, same thing.
Yeah. So it gets there, and the guy, I guess the mechanic, the owner or something like that there, told him to get this thing the hell off his lot.
Really?
Yeah, he said, you get that car the hell off the lot, you can't have it here, no. You know what I mean?
Because like, you've altered it?
Well, who doesn't alter it? You know what I mean? Like,
or is it because they didn't?
I don't know. Who knows, right?
That sounds more like, because I mean, those guys, if you wanted stuff done, some things done, they'll like try to obligate you. I mean, they could have done this, but they would have charged you on top of what it would have cost to do this, to wrap the thing.
Yeah, but I mean, how's anyone to know? I mean, you got to get the car serviced. You got to get it serviced, man. Right. You know what I mean? So anyway, they wouldn't do it, and so we ended up just taking it to another guy who knew it and all that stuff, and he did it. And then a week later, the guy has an F40, fucking smacked it. Yeah, right out in Woodbridge. It just got crushed, dude.
Damn.
I know. It's like, well, it's a good thing I didn't leave it there.
I was gonna say. Maybe it was. Yeah, maybe that's how it was supposed to happen the whole fucking time.
Right. I don't know what I'd do. I think I'd just cry a little bit.
I'd probably cry a lot. One day, I'd give it up real bad one day.
I was gonna go, but I can't see past this lady.
You're good on this side.
So you're at the Hoxton last night?
Yeah, that was fun, man. It was actually a good crowd. Drake came out. Saw the show. A couple of the guys from the Raptors came out. There was like 3 to start and 5 on the Raptors. Patrick Patterson, Kyle Lowry, and then one. I don't think Chuck started, but Chuck Hayes as well. All 3 of those guys in the last 3 years, all 3 of them played for the Rockets. So it's like coming up here for a Raptors game. It's like I'm at an old school Rockets game because a lot of the players on the team are ex-Rockets. But it was a great game, man. I mean, like the Toronto fans were like insane in there. Like the noise level in that joint was crazy.
I went to in their first season in Toronto. I went to one game.
That's it?
I don't get out, man.
Well, I mean,
Drake's like fucking city TV. Here? He's everywhere. That dude.
Well, he's going out of his way too. Like he's, I think after doing so much in the States and making that kind of success, I think he's trying to come back home and bring as much of that back here, to the scene. I mean, shit.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't follow the sport thing or whatever. It's not that I have anything against it. It's just not my
you're
thing.
into what you're into, man.
Yeah.
Like I went to the game and it was a good game, but then at the same time, I don't have a dog in the race.
Right.
So it's like I'm only so interested, which has got no disrespect to the players and whatnot. It's just and then my team just lost and they got kicked out the playoffs. So it's like I'm not. I don't know how much crazier I'm going to be about watching the rest of the playoffs anyway. Like, once my guys are out of it, I'm out of it. Shit, fuck it.
It used to be a bit of a thing with me and the old ring of friends that used to hang out in Toronto where they just go to the Jays game and buy those ridiculously oversized beers, just hang out. And, there's a game on too,
But you're expected to kind of fuck off a little bit during a baseball game. I think like football and maybe a little bit of basketball, I guess you're expected to be more
here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, be more in the moment.
Yeah.
Because shit could change or whatever. But baseball, unless you hear that bat connect with a ball, like who cares?
Yeah.
Who really wants to watch a shutout? I mean, you know.
Plus the venue too. I mean, like shit, you can't really see anything, so you're gonna be locked on the jumbotrons the whole time. And at that point, when you just watch it at home, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like it's you go to the game. It takes so much effort to go to the game, and oh fuck, we gotta go in. We gotta walk. Hey, can I take some pictures? It's a whole like how much of the game do you even get to be into? Like as soon as you get into like a great moment, you start getting tapped on the shoulder and shit. Takes you out of your place every now and then. And sometimes it's like you say, man, shit. Sometimes that living room sofa is the best seat in the house, man.
So what are you taking out onto the gumball this year?
That's what we're trying to figure out. Right now we're looking at this. We're looking at a Range Rover.
Like an Evoque?
I wouldn't mind an autobiography, but the only thing is that Estevan Oriol is on my team, and Estevan's like I don't know, maybe 6'2", 6'3".
Oh shit!
Easily, probably about 280, 290. So like maybe if it's just two guys, like we did a Range Rover from Copenhagen to Monaco last year, but it was just me and him. So we pushed the seats all the way back, and it was not so bad to stretch out. But 4 guys in the Range Rover, you're not gonna be able to stretch out like that. So even if he's in the front or the back, it's gonna be a tight fit for him. So we're looking at possibly an Escalade for 4 guys, and then maybe just taking 2 cars and then take like a Range Rover and something else. But it's you got to be really careful. Like say a car like this, you're gonna make good time. It's a beautiful car, but 3,000 miles in here, some guys are screaming for lumbar support after like 2 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm light on my feet, So I don't think it'd be too big.
If you don't have any pre-existing back issues, you'll probably be okay. Have you done a lot of long distance traveling by car? It's a push.
Trial by fire, man. I'm just going for it. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's never what you think it is. It's rough though. Like don't get me wrong, it's rough, but it's tolerable.
And you got to make the after parties.
Oh, without question. So like say, what registration is Wednesday. So we'll party hard, and then when we leave on Thursday morning, we'll still be like a little bit hungover from the party before. The first day, Miami to Atlanta is what, like 6:30, 6:40 miles, not kilometers.
Right.
So, and then Atlanta to New York is like 780.
So that's
so you're looking at maybe
like 6-7 hours.
You're looking at what, 10? In a car like this, maybe 8 to 10 hours from Miami to Atlanta. I think you could probably make it in 8 hours in this car easily.
The kind of consensus is with all my buddies and all, at least the guys that are participating in this year, is we're all just gonna pussyfoot it throughout the states.
It's not worth it.
Yeah, because you get fucked.
It's not worth it, man. A lot of guys that normally do the whole rally, they're like, I don't even want to do that to myself. It's like, because America is the only place where getting a ticket counts back home for everybody.
Right.
So no matter what country you're from, almost, like, no one can afford that U.S. fucking speeding ticket. I would imagine least of all the Canadian. Like, the traffic law, the car laws are crazy.
Well, here it's nuts too now. It's 50 over, you're done. Your car's gone, probably going to jail, that kind of shit.
Yeah, we went through that a couple of times. And what was it, 2010? We came through Toronto 2010 and 2012, I think.
With the gumball?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What just, you got all the cops and the OPP, whatever, just bird dogging the shit out of the rally.
Well, I mean, as soon as we came across the border from New York, they had the big LED sign, like, gumballers pull over. They give you a pamphlet about all the traffic laws in the country and tell you, look, speed limit on this road is 100. We catch you doing like
101, you're done.
You're done. Like, seriously, like, you're done. And it was raining that day, so it was a miserable drive. And guys were like, I think we were going from here to Quebec City.
Right.
No, Quebec City to here, actually. We were coming back.
Oh, the other way.
Yeah, so Quebec City to here. And, man, they were bullshitting. People go, like, this is miserable. Guys like, I've been in second gear for an hour. I'm sick of this shit. I'm going for it. And then you see them there on the side of the road, like 5 miles ahead.
Yeah, I think when we land and meet up again in Scotland and just head south, that's going to be a lot more entertaining.
And then it's a lot easier to drive too. Like Scotland to London's only 5 hours. They got to make like 2 pits. We got to make 2 checkpoints that day just to kind of stretch the ride out.
Right.
It's not far at all from Scotland to London. Then London to Paris, it's not far at all. That's about 5 hours.
What's going on here?
Paris to Barcelona is a nice ride though.
I know all the roads are really nice.
Yeah, it's through the mountains. That's a pretty drive. We pulled over in like a random little French town. Like we were with Damien Hirst's wife. She used to do gumball a lot. She was like, "Anybody speak French?" We're like, "No, nobody speaks." She was like, "I speak French. Let's just pull over somewhere." And we found like the smallest, like undisturbed little French town. Nobody spoke English. I'm not sure they ever saw a 6-foot Mexican in their life. And we're like, "Yeah, we want some wine and some French bread."
I learned this trick where you learn the phrase a little bit in as many languages as you can take. And then if anyone ever asks you, you just say, a little bit, right? Like, French, un petit peu, right? And then they never question you again. Then they just go back to English.
Well, a lot of different countries that I've been to, man, they really just can't stand. Well, me being American, they just hate it from us because we have no, I guess, reference for other people. Like every country, every city I've ever been to, they all speak English. Like somebody everywhere speaks English. Americans don't speak anything. Like the majority of America is about to be Mexican, and none of us speak Spanish. So it's total intolerance for other people's culture. But then the French are different anyway. I feel like the French can be a little bit different anyway, especially if you don't speak French. We were talking about that earlier because we got to go to Montreal tomorrow, and it's going to be like no parler of English, which all of them do. Everybody does. Everybody fucking speaks English.
Right.
But that's just their way of avoiding having to deal with you.
Right.
In Texas, there's no habla English, and then they just keep it moving. But if I say fuck you, you're gonna know that.
Yeah. Oh, now you understand.
Yeah, now you okay. That's what I thought. Good weather in Canada right now too, man.
It's getting there.
Well, last time I came,
we had one day, like last week, or maybe it was like 2 weeks ago. It was like 20 C. So maybe about
70 something.
70, 75, like hot, And then the next day, just fucking snowed, and said fuck it, not quite ready yet.
Wow.
So weird.
Yeah, we're finally getting rid of winter in Texas, which is not cool. Texas it's already 80.
Rains and shit. No?
It's already 80 degrees now. If it's not raining, it's burning up. Oh shit, there's Wendy's in?
Wendy's.
Really?
Yeah. We don't do that.
That's crazy.
Why?
Wendy's and Tim Hortons together.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of that in the last like 5 years. I guess they've joined forces.
It's kind of like Taco Bell and KFC and all that shit. I think we're gonna try to go somewhere tonight in Toronto. Today's our day off. I was trying to convince the guys to go to Niagara Falls.
What day is it today?
That's where I'm from. Niagara Falls?
Yeah. I grew up there.
Thinking about going out there. I just feel like everybody needs to see Niagara. They need to see the falls and they need to see the city of Niagara Falls. It's so kitschy.
It's like one of those things where you it's an hour and a half from here, so it's kind of a haul, but like it's just one of those things where you're like, yep, you drive by it, cool.
I just feel like you kind of need to see it. It was awe-inspiring for me because it was my first gumball. I had never really seen a lot of the world by car. I just thought it was so interesting because you can walk up to the lip of it and watch the waterfall and shit. I thought that was neat. Being a part of gumball has given me a total appreciation of the world again, especially America, because you're usually really jaded from where you're from.
Hi, can I get an extra large double?
Yeah.
And you want?
I'll try the frozen lemonade.
And a frozen lemonade?
What size?
Medium.
Medium?
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thanks.
I refuse to be a coffee guy.
Really?
Yeah, but simply because I was a cigarette guy for so long.
Oh, right.
Like,
I can't live without either. Hey, thanks.
I was able to.
Good.
I was able to shake the fucking the cigarettes in 2000.
How long So you haven't had a smoke since then? Or?
No, I haven't had a cigarette since then.
Jeez.
I actually was in a hotel room watching The Insider, the fucking movie about the tobacco industry.
The Insider?
Yeah, there's a movie starring Al Pacino and Russell Crowe, and it's about how basically the tobacco companies knew the shit was terrible.
Oh yeah, I come here all the time. Yeah, this is my Timmy's. I haven't seen that one.
It's a really good movie. It literally made me quit.
Is it on like Netflix?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a pretty big movie. But like Russell Crowe, like gained weight. He's like fat, real nerdy, geeky looking dude.
No. Old school. I'll have to look that up.
And I felt bad because my dad was a smoker. My dad died from cancer and shit related to smoking. But he wasn't dead at the time. But I was just like, man, because they literally just lied to the earlier generation. Like, smoking is good for you, damn near.
Oh, right. Yeah, that doesn't necessarily work. I mean, I know the weird little vices that I have, or bad habits in general, are fucking inherently bad for me. But I do them anyway.
The cigarette, I just felt a certain way about cigarette. I feel like okay, they didn't know, you know. And at the time I was smoking cigarettes, I was drinking a shitload of liquor at the time. I was smoking like formaldehyde. So I had a lot of fucking shit going on. I was just like, you know what? You're not gonna live doing everything you want to do. Some shit you just can't fucking do. So if you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that, you gotta give up something.
Right.
So I went for cigarettes. I figured it was the hardest thing. And that way, if I could get rid of the hardest thing, then if I choose to do the other shit, it should be a piece of cake. Like cigarette, everybody, pretty much like cigarettes is one of the hardest addictions to break. Period. Right. Because it's the most accessible, I guess, drug, the thing to get addicted to. Then I really start fucking drinking when I quit smoking cigarettes.
I quit drinking 2 years ago.
How's that?
Well, you know what? Honestly,
Were you ever really a heavy drinker though?
Oh, when I was on tour, yeah, it was every fucking day, man. It was like, it's just, and not because I needed a drink, because there's nothing fucking else to do. Yeah.
You had sound check for an hour.
Yeah.
You're bored. You're in a hotel room. You're on a bus all day.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, I didn't wake up going, I need a fucking drink, right? So, I wouldn't say I was an alcoholic. Said every alcoholic in the world. But honestly, it's like one of those things where I could just say, you know what, fuck it.
We got something to drink. We got some Jack in there.
I just don't really feel like drinking anymore. I'm over it, and everyone's, and all my friends and stuff was like, oh, wow, you quit drinking. Is it hard? And it's like, no, I just stopped, But I couldn't apply that same logic to cigarettes.
The last 2 years, I've been wanting to give up marijuana, but the world, because I was like, you're going everywhere, you smell like marijuana. You always want to smoke. It's never convenient. And now, like the last 2 years, it's been so much easier to get marijuana, to consume marijuana. The views on people that smoke marijuana have changed considerably. Mm. So now it's cooler than it's ever been to smoke weed. I'm like, do I really need to quit now? Like, now that it's getting legalized, like you can go to Colorado.
I smoked weed before it was cool.
Yeah, exactly. And now it's like super cool. And like, do I even still want to fuck with it?
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting tired of the process of breaking down weed and rolling up weed. I like the wax and the butter. You just kind of load up a vape and just kind of go for it.
That's the one thing I could never get into. Holy shit, dude. It's the don't make any plans fucking thing for me, Like, find a quiet fucking room. I actually, last time I smoked was when I was like 20.
Really?
Yeah, like at least 10 years ago. I get so fucking out of control paranoid. Just fucks me up too much. I can't be out of control like that.
Well, marijuana is very physiological. So it's really about, a lot of brain barrier drugs are like that too, where it's really about the physical makeup of the individual taking the drug. Certain drugs, like me, I can't drink beer. If I drink beer, we're fighting. If I drink the neck on a fucking 12-ounce bottle of beer. Like, they're gonna have to drag me out. But I can drink hard liquor. I can drink whiskey or, vodka or bourbon. I can drink that shit all night.
Right.
And be cool as a fan. But beer, we're gonna have problems. We're gonna have real problems. Fuck lager. I'm gonna kill somebody. Like a Red Stripe or a fucking Guinness. I'm gonna kill somebody.
Wow. That's interesting.
It's just not for me. It just totally affects me in the worst way possible. Which is sad because I like to go to a lot of places and usually the only option is beer and wine, and I don't drink either. So then I'm just kind of sitting around looking crazy. I don't drink beer. I've been trying to find a wine for like 10 years. I fucking hate the taste of wine. It just seems so unnecessary. I'd rather have grape juice than wine.
Quitting drinking has almost completely eradicated every desire I've ever had about going to a nightclub. Anyway, so I rarely go out unless it's just to say hi to someone I know or hang out, because it's like...
That's 3/4 of the experience of going to a nightclub.
Exactly. It's just getting a drink, whatever. I'll to get wasted or just have a social so-and-so. But, fuck, man, now when I find myself standing around, with my hands in my fucking pockets, not having a drink, anyone else is off, it's like, well, what the fuck am I even doing?
Yeah, exactly. Why did I even come if I wasn't going to...
They can come for the music.
Yeah, I'm obviously not following the status quo. Everybody in here's got a fucking drink except me. So you're the odd man out.
I guess it's worked out in my ears. I guess it's more time in the studio learning shit and fucking doing things on Saturday nights that, might actually lead to some kind of result as opposed to coming home fuzzy and waking up with a fucking hangover.
A lot more Saturday night movie dates.
Yeah.
Toronto's got to do something about these roads.
Thank you. I had a coffee run lined up with the mayor. I was going to bring that up, but he relapsed a little bit.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it.
I think that's safe to say.
Yeah.
How is that, man, having, somebody that's, is incorrigible?
You know what? Honestly, the city's not falling apart politically, so I don't think that's that big.
Well, a mayor of a city is more the face, the spokesperson of the city, as opposed to being the person that's actually affecting.
Is it really? Are they really though? I think maybe back in ye old day. You know what I mean?
Mayors don't really get too much. Mayor can't do anything without city council, and then they've still got to go to, like in America, for example. A mayor has certain powers, but he's really trying to affect change.
Yeah.
He still has to go through city council. He still has to talk to the local state representatives, and if there's we're in Houston, so we have a senator there, so you got to go through a lot of things to.
Yeah, but it's like saying
you could change.
I'd say Drake is more of an ambassador of Toronto than the mayor would be. In terms of public view.
I guess you got a point. They just did an article on me about could I be the mayor of Houston?
Why not?
And they're and that's what the guy was saying. I don't see any reason why he can't be the mayor of Houston. If Jesse Ventura can be a governor, if Al Franken can be a senator.
Fucking,
you know what I'm saying? With no fucking background at all.
Reagan can be a president.
Yeah, no bullshit, right?
Fuck that.
Motherfucker was
mayor, go for president, man.
I've been thinking about it though, man. Maybe the next couple of years I might want to at least try city council and see where that goes.
Right. So you're actively involved in your community and all that?
Yeah. I just a couple of years ago I got a day from the city for all my humanitarian stuff in the city. I do a lot, man, because what's the point? For me, I feel what's the point of when you get fame and you get power, you're either gonna do good shit with it or bad shit with it, or even worse, nothing.
Well, people only let you ruin a city for so long.
Yeah.
And then you're out.
But then I tell people I got a great connection with the city. But then if one of the football players ran, then I wouldn't win because he's more famous than me. Because the guy had to break it down. What is it more than? It's nothing more than a popularity contest. It's all about it's all about who's running when. And he was like, you do a lot in the community, and people pay attention to it. The people that run the city see who you are and what you're doing. And if you decided that that's where you wanted to go, it's you'd be surprised how many of the money people in town would get behind it. And at first I was like, nah, I can't do that shit. I'm a fucking artist. What the fuck do I look like? And then guys were like, but you could win though. You could fucking win. I'm like, well, yeah, but so could he.
Enough people to say that.
And he was like, no. He said, trust me, because this guy is like one of the big facilitators in town. He's the guy that takes the big corporate sponsors and puts together the shows at the art gallery, or he helped the impoverished kids and shit like that. And he's like, man, I talk to a lot of major people in the city, and they see what you're doing. Because I invited the mayor to my suite for a basketball game. So it's like me, and our mayor is gay. We have the first gay mayor.
In Texas.
In America, yeah.
In Texas.
Yeah. In America, period. We was a...
Well, that's an accomplishment. Not just America. In Texas.
Yeah, in Texas. Probably one of the reddest states in the world. And it's a woman. So our mayor's a lesbian. And she's the coolest fucking person in the world. And I was like, hey, I got a suite at the game. We'd love to have you come over and, watch a Rockets game. And at first she was like, I don't want to just sit there and be out of place, whatever. But then I invited like Slim Thug, and I put a mixed crowd of people together.
Slim Thug, now you ain't out.
So now it's like her and Slim Thug sitting together watching the game. She was like, she's like, they're just as nervous to be around me as I am to be around them. Nobody wants to do the wrong thing, so ended up being like really, really fun. She had a great time, and when I did I did a coloring book. I did a hip hop coloring book, and she like popped up at the signing. Oh, that's funny. She popped up at the signing unannounced, like Secret Service and all of that. I didn't know she was coming, and the guy that drew all the pictures in the coloring book had no idea she was coming. And his whole family surprised him, and then 10 minutes later the mayor came and took a picture with him.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's a science teacher. He's an 8th grade science teacher. Does offhand writing every now and then for like Village Voice and LA Weekly and shit like that. He's a music writer. He interviewed me a lot of times, and we got like the same sense of humor. And I'm like, dude, we should do something together. Like, you're a funny dude, I'm a funny dude. Let's do something funny for hip hop, because hip hop is always so stoic and it's always takes itself so serious.
Right.
I'm like, our culture needs something humorous, something funny where hip hop can laugh at itself. And we kept trying to figure out something.
That's Sony had that parappa.
And exactly. So I was like, what about a coloring book? He was like, no, what about a coloring and activity book? So when we pitched it, like publishing companies, they didn't get it or whatever. So he started a Tumblr, and like every week he would put out a new picture on the Tumblr. So, and when he came up with, which I thought was probably the most brilliant thing in the world, he came up with Sudoku with the Wu-Tang Clan. So it was Wu-Doku, because there's 9 members of Wu-Tang.
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, it was brilliant. It was, and at that was like that really set off the Tumblr. We ended up getting up to like 10,000 guys sign on to the Tumblr, and then we repitched it, and somebody jumped on it, and we were like 200 copies away from making New York Times bestsellers list for a coloring book. Which they were like, they called us. We had no idea. They were like, the Times was like, look, you guys are extremely close to being the first coloring book to ever make New York Times bestseller list. So here's what you should do. And we kept trying to push it closer. We had to sell like 10,000 copies in a week though. And like we got up to like maybe like 9750, something like that, closely. But still, the crazy numbers for a coloring book. Like,
it's not bad. Fuck, man. Hey, well, fuck. Thanks for coming. You're actually the first person I bought coffee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Everybody buys you coffee?
Yeah, I make them pay.
Oh, man.
Fuck them.
Well, I gotta buy you something else then.
All right, man. Cheers.